What's going on, fellow tryhards? It's Tom with Tryhard Gaming, bringing you back a brand new video. This is going to be a continuation of the Unchained not profile, but the learners or the starter guide that I came out with a little bit ago. I had a few people in the comments ask for some extra videos with some of the other combos that you can do. One of the main things that I was asked was combos that don't really play through Nibiru. So with this, what we're gonna do is I had somebody in the comments on one of the last videos, or the last video I did on some of the other combos that you can do. So shout out to you for asking for another video. You ask, I listen. I'm gonna try to do the best I can and try to bring you guys the content you want. So kind of go over a recap. This is some of the stuff that you're going to see whenever you do some of these combos. First one being Shivara. So this is going to be your red dog. It's the quick effect. During the main phase, you're able to pop a set card or a fiend and special discard out. A good extender. Arua, this is like your stock and standard starter. This is the one that you're able to pop any card on the field and special him out. This is ideally you pop one of the traps or the spell. So you're able to use that and then special another one and kind of go Yama and then continue on your combo like normal with those. This is the contract package. You have the contract. Whenever you activate it, it lets you search for the Vice King. This is the one card Mockin X pretty much, and you're able to pop if you open up this and one of the contract, or not one of the contracts, one of the Unchained traps or spells, you're able to pop it and then special out one of your usually Shivara or one of your other ones. Next one we have is your one card combo that is Tour Guide with Fiendish Rhino Warrior. This is of course one of the best fiends that has ever been printed to date in my opinion, and it's able to do XYZ rank ups real quick and just link climb really quick. So I really love this card and I like that package in this deck. Your two traps. You got the, for those who don't know, this one is your Monster Reborn / special summon from hand if you flip it while it's on the field. And this is your target one Unchained, target one card on the field, pop both. So, and this one also has both of these have the effect when they're popped, you can special away Unchained from deck. This is your other level 6 that you use to go into Wave High King. Very good level 6. Usually you have these two on board, and you can use this effect to pop Sarama to have the ability to pop a set spell or trap on field, or a spell or trap on field. So this is really good against back row removal stuff too as well. So I usually I really love this card. I find myself, the more I play with this deck, I use this card way more for its other ability as well. Sarama, this one will let you reset one of the traps or one of your monsters. So if you're trying to continue off and like pop off with a combo, and you haven't popped Arua yet, you just link them off, then you're able to set Arua, pop the Arua, and then bring out your Shama or any sort of other combo extender. Rikea, this one's, again, I've mentioned this before, this is the quick effect pop a card. Very good for Nibiru combos, very much so used. And then the last monster we're going to go over is Abominable Unchained Soul. This is the one where if you pop a card, you can chain block with this. I forgot to mention that in the first video. You're able to use this effect to, say you pop a card with Shivara or Arua and you want to search, or if you want to do, like, say you're trying to search or chain block a search in any way, shape, or form, you can go like chain link 1 Yama, and if you're able to, if you pop the card, you can go chain link 2 Abominable Unchained Soul special from hand. So this is a really good utility card, and it non-target pops a card on field. And then you have your A-Bomb's Prison. This is your Omni search for the deck. I mentioned this in the first video. This card is amazing. It not only does it let you search for anything that you were missing out of this stuff right here, besides the contract and tour guide package, this will allow you to extend and just get your main extenders, as well as if you have multiples of these, you can set it and then pop it, and it has the same effect as the rest of them. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some of the extra deck monsters that we're going to kind of go over. The first few that I've took out since my last one was, I had 2 Wave High King in my deck, and I cut it down to 1, and I cut Griffin for a Wave High King. or not Wave High King, a Stone King Darius. Because with Floo, you're able to kind of, this card, you're able to just do way more with this card. Whenever you're playing against Floo, you play under, you can play under Nib, and it lets you automatically go into Stone, or Machinex, to be able to suck up any of the Floo monsters. And I believe that's all I changed, really. I think I kept that, but I took out one of those and threw in the other. So we're gonna kind of go over some of the Nightmare box again, just for the purposes of, I guess, just showing. So those are some of the combos that don't play, that kind of play into Nib, and they very much so. You can end on a pretty solid board. Not only can you negate a special summon with there's a board where you can end on Muckraker, Nightmare Griffin, and Wave High King with one of your sets. So this is pretty solid. You can still do quite a bit with this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of those combos. Alright, so one of the first combos that I had someone ask about was, is there a board or an end board that you are able to end on that has Machinex, Wave High King, and your Unchained Soul of Rage? So the end board that we're going to start with is this one right here. It is very much so possible if you have these 3 cards in your hand or any of the traps, and if I'm not mistaken, you can use any of this one or well, any of the main 2 card starters, being Shavara or Arua. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's see what we can do with this this particular setup. So if you open up with just these 3 cards, you want to start out. This is if you go uninterrupted. I always like to keep that disclaimer. If this goes uninterrupted, you have pretty much any end board you could think of that you would want with this deck. I like to keep it kind of simple whenever I play this deck, which is just your Wave High King and your Soul of Rage. You can, depending if you're going in blind and you feel more comfortable having more board state, or if you want to have just other forms of interaction, then this is the board that you could make. This is like any of these 3 cards right here is anything that you could ever ask for with this combo. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and normal summon Tour Guide, activate Tour Guide effect, and this will let us special our Fiendish Rhino. We're not even going to worry about using Fiendish Rhino or linking these 2 off just yet. What we're immediately going to do with these 2 is we're going to overlay these 2 into our Stone King Darius. So for those who don't know, you can run this similar package. You don't have to run this card, but the more that I've played this deck, I find this way more useful in the Floo matchups, and this deck really struggles against Floo. So I really enjoy having this as a way to get this out on the field, or a way to get Machinex on the field and still be able to interact. So Stone King Darius, his main effect is once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 dark contract you control, destroy it, and if you do, you can draw 1 card. And it also has the other effect: if this card battles an opponent's monster during the damage calculation, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card and make this card unable to be destroyed by battle, and then you can destroy the opponent's monster that battled this card. And then after damage calc, you deal 800. No, it's 500 to your opponent. And yeah, so it's another way to get around some of the destruction effects, but we're not really going to use them for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into our Darius, and then from there we can go ahead and go into our Machinex. So from there we're able to go ahead and make our Machinex. We can put it anywhere. We can put it here. We can leave it. We can put it over here. It's all about what you want to do. Again, I've mentioned in the past, in the other video, that I'm very wary with where I put my stuff. With Relinquished Anima being a thing right now, with a lot of level 1 decks, Snake Eyes is probably going to run it. there's going to be a lot of decks that run Relinquished Anima, and that card is going to be devastating to a lot of decks, and if you put a certain card in that zone or either of these zones, they are very much so at risk. So keep that in mind. Then from here, what we do is we set our escape, activate a Rua effect target. We pop our escape effect to special, and we will special out our Shavara. And then we will link our 2 off here, and we will go into our Yama. We'll go Yama Chain Link 1, Shavara Chain Link 2. Shavara will let us set. We will set the other trap, and then we will be able to add our Shavara back from grave. So what we'll do here is we will continue and activate Shavara effect, target our trap, do special and pop. And then from here we'll go chamber effect to special, and chamber will let us special out our Sarama. And then at this point we're able to go Sarama effect, and where we have not popped Arua to use his effect, we'll go Sarama effect, target Arua to set Arua and pop the Arua. And then we can from there activate Arua effect to special from deck or from hand, and then we can special out our Shyama. And now we can overlay our Shyama and our Shavara into our Wave High King. And now we have one thing left to do, and that is link off our Sarama and our Yama to go into our Soul Rage. So you can end on that board. The only problem is there's not a whole lot of spells and traps that you have, unless the last 2 cards in your hand are the spell and traps, because you need to use Sarama effect to pop a card in order to link off into Soul Rage. Now this can change again. It would be a 4-card combo if you opened up this, because at this point you could link off with this and another card, or link off this and Yama to go into Rage instead, and then use Sarama effect to set one of your traps. Or you could leave this on field and you're able to continue on with doing the regular combo with the set trap and have him on field as well. So there's the first way that you can do that combo to end on Machinex as well. So let's go ahead and rewind a little bit to see what we do if we have 2 Wave High Kings instead of 1 Stone King Darius. Alright, so here's the other way that you can get to the end board of Soul of Rage, Wave High King, and Machinex. So it's going to be the same 3 cards. It took me a second to kind of remember how I did this one, because it's been a hot minute since I've ever built a board like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out the same as usual. We'll go Tour Guide effect, Special Rhino, link these 2 off, and we will go into our Yama, and we'll go Yama 1, Fiendish 2, Fiendish will let us foolish our Shavara, and Yama will let us add a Shavara. And then on a new chain, Shavara in the graveyard to set the other trap that we don't have, which would be Escape. And from here, we do the regular 2-card combo. We go Arua, target the Escape, Escape effect engrave to special. This is where we kind of diverge. We will go Shyama here. And then here, we will link off our Yama and our Shyama to go into our Soul Rage. And now from here, we will kind of do another version of the 2-card combo. We'll go ahead and set our other trap that we have in our hand. Activate Shyama's effect, targeting our trap to pop. And we will special summon out either our Sarama here, or we will special out our Abominable Unchained Soul. Which, at this point, it kind of doesn't matter as much because we have Yama engraved, so we're able to get our other 2 Shavaras. So need I remind you, in this combo line, you use all 3 of your red dogs. Because you don't run Darius, you will have to use all 4. They're all 4 dogs that you run in the main board. So at this point, what we're going to do, where we have a Shyama engraved, we will activate Shyama targeting our Arua to pop. And then on a new chain, we will be able to go Yama chain link 1, Arua chain link 2. Yama's going to let us special from the grave, and Arua is going to let us special from the deck. We special out our Shama that we pitched earlier, and in our deck we will special out our last Shavara. So from here we will overlay these two, go into our Wave High King, and then we will overlay our 2 Shavaras, go into our other Wave High King, and the Machinex. So at this end board you have your Soul of Rage Interruption. Again, you don't have any spells and traps because you're building this big old board. You're building a lot of bunguses with this board. So in this board you have the Machinex for 2, you have your 2 Wave High King special summon negates, you have your Abominable, which is just a 3k beef stick on the field, and then you have your link off into a SP or a Nightmare Unicorn. So there's that version of the combo. That took me a hot minute to figure out and find out. But keep in mind, whenever I do these combos, these go uninterrupted. These are if the combos just go full bore. You have your opponent says you're good, you can go ahead and play, and you open up those specific 3 cards, and they're like, oh, well, I'm in danger. So we'll go ahead here in a second, and we will go over the Griffin line as well, because this there's a way with this as well that I haven't shown, but you can end on this Wave High King, Muckraker, and the Soul of Rage. And you can, if you do it a different way, you can really end on Nightmare Griffin, Muckraker, what is it, SP Little Knight, and Wave High King, and everything's linked, so everything on your side can activate. And there's nothing pointing to your opponent's side of the field either. So that's another combo we're going to get into next. But let's go ahead and get into that, actually. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the next part of the combos. This is going to be a Griffin lock version as well, with a couple other added cards. So one of the things I always like to recommend is, I've stopped playing the Griffin lock combo. I like to advertise that because it's still good to have, because it does shut off decks completely. But if your opponent draws a Nibiru or any sort of big interaction card that just board wipes you, you are dead on arrival. There's no way that you're going to be able to play. You usually end on if you end on a rock token, that's all you end on. You end on that and then a set. So just a disclaimer, if you do go into this combo, be very wary of the Angry Space Rock. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this combo. So this is going to be, again, pretty stock and standard. So we're just going to go ahead and go into our tour guide, and then our tour guide into our Rhino. Then we will link off those two, go into our Yama, go Yama chain link 1, Rhino chain link 2. We will pitch our Shavara, and then we will add a Shavara. And then a new chain Shavara will trigger in the graveyard. We are able to set the other trap that we popped, or the other trap that we don't have, excuse me. And at this point, we can do, again, combo as normal. So we are able to either go Arua here, we'll go ahead and go Arua to pop the trap and special him, and then trap will go ahead and allow us to special a card. At this point, we are able to special out our, let's go Shama here, because Shama is going to be able to let us extend even further. We will link off our Shavara and our Shyama and our Yama to go into our Soul of Rage. And then at this point, we can activate our Shyama Engrave to pop our Arua. And then Arua effect to special from deck or from hand. We will choose to special from our deck. And at this point, you kind of have your crossroads of what you can and can't do. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and special out another Shyama. Now, as I have advertised before, in this combo, when you Griffin lock, this is going to be your free spot. This is going to be the spot where you special out your Soul of Rage if you reset the chamber. But I will say, with this combo, you are very apt to a Relinquished Anima because your Wave High King has to be here if you end on Griffin lock and Anima. So what we're going to do here is we're going to overlay these two and go into our Wave High King. So we have the regular board, and we still have Shavara in hand and an escape to pop. So what we're going to do is we're going to go set our escape and activate our Shavara to pop our escape. And then escape will trigger to special out another monster. So we will special out our Sarama here, because at this point it kind of doesn't matter because we're going to go into our Muckraker here soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate our Sarama. Actually, we will not activate our Sarama because we have popped everything in our graveyard. So what we'll do is we'll leave that be and not activate. So honestly, this could, instead of being this, you could do this card if you have something else you can reset, or you could go your Abominable Unchained Soul. So that would be the best way to do so. And let's go ahead and do that actually. So let's say we did that instead of Sarama. Now we will link these two off, and we will go into our Muckraker. And then our Muckraker will trigger. So again, you will have to pitch cards. So you have those 3 cards and 2 discards. You have your 5-card hand. So what you'll do is you'll take your last 2 cards to do this part of the combo. You'll do Muckraker effect to target Yama, and then pitch a card from hand, special out your Yama. And then using these 2 cards, we will link off these 2. And we will go into our Nightmare Griffin. So this is your inboard with that 3-card combo. Also, Griffin, whenever he is special summoned, he will allow you to discard 1 card and set 1 trap or spell, but it can't be activated this turn. You can activate your chamber to set your chamber, just in case your Wave High King gets taken. You can use the chamber to reset, or you can use escape. But I'd honestly prefer to use chamber at this point if you use Griffin lock. And you are able to use to have 2 monster negates at this point, and just be able to do quite a bit. And then you have protection off of Muckraker. One of the main things I will also take note of is off of Griffin, whenever you set and use his effect, if he is co-linked, which he will be with the Muckraker, you're able to, after you discard that card, you're able to draw a card from your deck. So it could be another blank. So you're still ending on at least 1 card in your hand. So, and again, if you draw a card like Thrust or Talents, you're able to, and your opponent tries to play through some of that stuff, then you're able to just kind of punish them for it. Another thing I will note, whenever you are doing this line specifically, you can put this card here, or you can put him over here on the main far left, for the main reason that you can flip this card during your opponent's turn. Whenever they say they just immediately special summon Fenrir, you can flip that card, special him, and then on res activate Soul of Rage, linking off with their Fenrir, and then go into your SP Little Knight. And once you go into your SP Little Knight, everything on your side of the field, or you could even go into your Unicorn if they have another thing on field. But now that you have SP Little Knight on the field, you are able to banish something that they control or something in their graveyard, as well as having all of your stuff linked to where you are able to activate everything you control and still have 4 monsters on the field. So that's another thing that this deck can do. I rarely use this line again, but again, this could either be an SP Little Knight, or it can be a Nightmare Unicorn, because this will also let you shuffle back a monster that your opponent controls, and it will let you discard a card and draw a card. Or you have to discard a card for the effect, but you still get to draw a card off of that as well. So if you don't like the 1 card that you had, you can really cycle it. So without any more hesitation, let's go ahead and go into some of the other combo lines that this deck may have as well. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go over some of the, some of the 5-card hands, man. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of go over the hands where you open up multiple contracts and let's say the regular 3-card combo. So we know good and well that this can produce the Machinax, the Wave High King, and the Soul of Rage board. So if you wanted to do this in a simplified manner, we could do that as well. So again, I do run the contract package in this deck. I'm a very firm believer that this combo and this line really helps this deck and opens it up quite a bit. I've seen a lot of people say that they don't really like it, and I agree to an extent, because I used to not run this because I absolutely hated running it, because you would open up this and you would open up this, which is still okay, but you would need at least a trap or some sort of normal summon like a Rua to extend off of that. So I understand, I hate running the 1 brick too, but I believe it is mandatory to run, and I believe the trade for the 1 brick over the massive consistency buff that this deck gets is mandatory. So let's go ahead and start this out. So we will go ahead and activate our Dark Contract. We'll go ahead and go Contract Effect to add our Vice King to hand. We will scale our Vice King and use its effect to target our contract to pop and special. And now where he's on the field, we can only special summon DDD monsters. So again, for those who don't know, if you are playing against this deck, if you were doing a mirror match and they try to go ahead and special summon something to their side of the field, then while this card is on the field, they cannot do it. That would be an illegal summon, and they have to overlay into something that specifically Machinax in order to get the DDD lock off. So if you flip Spellbound to while this card is on the field, you are DDD locking them. They cannot play the game. So that literally puts on the card, it says you cannot special summon monsters except DDD monsters. So you can normal summon stuff, but this card locks you, so that puts them on Haverkaya or Havarua, and if you don't, then you're kind of stuck here. But back to what I was doing. Where you have that on field, you are able to overlay it into your Machinax here, because Machinax effect allows you to do so. And you are able to, usually you would do that whenever you opened up the 2-card combo line that I showed you in my other video, you'd be able to set this and use Machinax effect. You still can, but in this line, we're actually going to keep Machinax for a different reason. So if you're going for time though, definitely use that effect, because you're able to shuffle this back and then you're able to gain 1,000 life. So that is very handy to have in time, very good to have in that time crunch. So here we'll just go ahead and do our regular combo. We'll go Tour Guide effect with Rhino, link off these two, and then we will go into our Yama 1, Rhino 2. And then we will go pitch a Shavara, and then we will add a Shavara, and then Shavara effect to set the other trap that we do not have. And from here, we could go Arua effect in hand, popping our chamber, and from here, special for our chamber, bringing out our Shyama. Link off your Yama and your Shyama to go into your Soul of Rage. And then, let's put that there. Our Soul of Rage won't do anything right now, but what we can do from here is we can go Shyama effect, target Arua to pop and special. And we can go Arua effect to special from deck or hand. Now again, we can go Shavara from deck here, which we probably will, if you're just trying to go with that regular inboard. So we will go overlay these two and go into our Wave High King. Now you have another 2-card combo in your hand along with your Dark Contract still. So At this point, you can do you can activate your contract in hand to have on field, and then these two have an additional activation that you can use to your liking. If you're playing against Floo, that would be really good. So both of these, most of the DDD monsters have the effect to, instead, whenever you're going to activate its ability, instead of detaching one, you can pop a dark contract on field. So if you open up 2 contracts, you're able to pop one of your contracts instead of detaching one from your monsters, and that pays for the cost. So with Machinax, it is really, really good to do, especially for his ability. So instead of actually detaching 2 and sucking up 1, you have a 1-for-1 trade. Because these contracts, if you don't know about the contracts, they do burn you each standby phase. So you want to get rid of these as quick as you possibly can. And whenever you do that, again, they'll just be able to proc. So this is it's another form of interaction without you knowing. And plus, during your opponent's turn, if you have this, so at this point, you either have 3 special summon negates, a pop 2 with Yama in graveyard as well, or you have a 2 monster suck, you have a double monster special summon negate, you have the escape to pop and bring him back with Yama, and then add a card from graveyard to hand along with Shavara, so that's really, really good. And then you are able to link off with Soul of Rage on your opponent's turn to make an SP or a Nightmare Unicorn. In this case, Nightmare Unicorn might actually be better if this doesn't come up, but if it does, then you can pitch this card. If you don't want to detach off of these, or this card specifically, you're able to pitch this from hand and then set your other trap from your deck. So this board can be really, it looks menacing because it is. So one Machinax with a contract makes him live. So just the contract makes it live. But if they get rid of this contract, it does kind of make it a little squirrely and a little hard. So a little bit harder because you just have a 3K on field, which is still good to have for defense. But if they Dark Rule or if they do anything, then it makes it really, really difficult to try to get any of this out. One of the things that I have been testing with that I'm excited to work with whenever Phantom Nightmare comes out is the Crazy Beast package. So you're able, if Wave High King Caesar doesn't get hit on the list, which I don't know if he will or not, but if he does, by some chance, then I feel like this deck will go ahead and use Crazy Beast more often, because Crazy Beast is a level 6 fiend, and you're able to detach off of any monster on the field and use its effect. So it's still some form of interaction for spell traps, and I think that's kind of what this deck is missing. It's missing things besides escape, is really the only form of interaction that you have to pop your opponent's spell or traps. So recently I've been trying to save this card as much as I can, specifically for a normal summon monster or a spell or trap like Magnificent Map Floo, for example, or the Unexplored Winds, because you don't want them tributing your stuff off, and you don't want them having an additional normal off of the Magnificent Map. So this card is extremely good to have. Really good against Rika as well. Good to pop the field spell with this card. Same reason, their field spell is able to allow them to tribute off your stuff for their game. So these escape is kind of one of the main things that I like using for this specific reason, the spell trap removal. But I will say in the near future, if they don't hit this card, and even if it's limited, it's still decent, because you'll end on this card as well as a Crazy Beast. If you end on a Crazy Beast of this, you have a double special negate. You have, say this was Crazy Beast, you'd have the detached 2 spell trap suck, and then you would have your link off with Soul of Rage. So that is that line for this deck. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of things together and see what other lines we can find. Alrighty, so let's get into the last but not least, one of my favorite combos that this deck can do. And it is the one combo that you really kind of need to know especially in this format, and that is the Anti-Floo combo. So this will end on a Mach-X as well as a Unchained A-Bomb and a set card. That is something I forgot to throw in here as well. So it's more of like a 4-card combo with a very specific hand. But if you have these 3, you still end on the 2 monsters. But if you open up another trap, specifically another one of these, or if you just open up one of each, then you have a way to pop another monster that they have. So let's go ahead and get started into this combo. So what we'll do is we'll do what we've done for the rest of them. We'll go ahead and start off going Tour Guide and Tour Guide Effect. That will allow us to grab our Fiendish Rhino Warrior. And then do the same thing as we have been doing. Overlay these 2 to go into our Stone King. And then use our Stone King to go into our Mach-X. Again, Mach-X is going to be able to suck up 2 of the bird names as long as they're not like chain blocked. But that can happen, so keep that in mind. If it is chain blocked, escape is going to be really helpful to have. Whenever they normal summon, they're going to be able to, they're still going to be able to chain block, but this is going to be able to give you a better opportunity to pop a card or one of the field spells, which being the Magnificent Map or being the Unexplored Winds that kind of tributes off your own monsters. So at this point, you are able to go set your escape, activate your Arua, target your escape. Escape will trigger after being popped, and you are able to special a monster from your deck. We will grab our red dog here, and then after we do this, we will immediately link off into our Yama using our Shavara and our Arua. So here, we will go Chainlink 1 Yama, Chainlink 2 Shavara. Shavara will let us set the other trap that we do not have, being Chamber. And Yama will let us add a card from our deck or our graveyard to our hand. We will go ahead and recycle our Shavara. So I've mentioned this earlier, using your graveyard is very, very common in this deck. So one of the main things I like to do is I like to recycle when I can, because there are grindy matchups. There are matchups where you're going to go almost all of your time is going to go into game 1, and you're going to need every bit of what you have in your graveyard recycled if you can. So being able to recycle a Shavara or a Sarama from grave is really important. So after you grab your Shavara, you're going to go ahead and activate Shavara, targeting your set chamber to bring out your Shavara. And then you will activate Chamber Effect to bring out your Shayama. Or, excuse me, not Shayama, Sarama. This one. The purple one. And at this point, you can use Sarama Effect to go into your, you can activate that to grab your Arua, to set your Arua and pop your Arua because you have not popped this turn. And then you can special out any of the main remaining monsters that you have here, which could be a Rakea, it could be a, because again, this is 3 cards. You also have 2 empty cards in your hand. Say one of or both of them are in perm, or if you have something, I would probably recommend going Rakea here, just for the pure fact that whenever you pop that, you're able to go into another pretty much another way to get rid of, or another way to proc your Unchained A-Bomb. So this is a good way to proc your Unchained A-Bomb when you get to the end of the combo. So at this point, what you'll do is you'll link off your Sarama and your Shavara and your Yama to go into your big boy, your Unchained A-Bomb. So this is just with the 3 cards. If you have 2 cards, you could have another Escape, you could have an A-Bomb's Prison, you could have any of that. You could set, if you have A-Bomb's Prison, I probably wouldn't recommend just setting it. I'd go ahead and flip it and activate it so you could go ahead and grab another escape to set the field, and whenever you set that, you have another form of interaction, whether it be escape to pop, or and after that you'll be able to go Abominable Effect to pop one of their cards. Abominable really comes in handy because the more interaction that you have in that sense with Floo is really, really important. So you are able to steal 2 of their monsters to add as a material off of Machinex. You're able to use Rikeya to pop a card and either bring it back. So you could pop a set card if you if you have another card in hand. So that would make it like a 4-card combo if you had any of the other things or any of the other spells or traps. But you could pop those and then use A-Bomb's effect to pop another monster, and then that procs Yama if you pop one of your own monsters. So you can use a lot of different things or if you pop one of your own cards off of Rikeya. So say if you have another escape during your opponent's turn, or if you have 2 different sets with the last 2 cards, which is like absolutely busted with this deck. So like you dump your entire hand, but you also have ways around the entire Floo board. So this is a very intimidating board to Floo, and I really like using this setup. So I want to go ahead and say that I was not the one who came up with this combo. I found out this combo from the one, the only, Super Insane. He is really awesome guy. Got to meet him at YCS Indy a couple months back, and get well soon, man. I know you've been having some health issues. You mentioned that on some of your posts, but I hope you get to feeling better. And again, thank you so much for showing me these combos. This combo right here that you showed me was extremely helpful. We have a lot of Floo players at my locals, so this is the bee's knees. So I appreciate you showing me this combo. But also, thanks guys. We've hit 75 subs, so hooray for that. I'm really thankful for you guys being here and watching this channel grow. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I realize it's like 75 people is a lot of people. So and it's just a start. We're just starting. I'm excited to see where this channel actually goes. And I really appreciate you guys being here for the start of it, and just being able to show you some of the combo lines, some of the guides that I'm able to bring to the table, some of the things that we can all learn from in terms of combo guides in this game. So let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you want to see next. What kind of combos may I be missing? What kind of cards that I should throw in this deck and try out? What are some cards that I should probably look into for the next format? Let me know down in the comments below. Tell me some things that you might want to see next in terms of deck profiles and combo guides and all that kind of thing. I'm more than willing and open to new ideas and some new different deck profiles. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're at 75. We're really coming up close on 100. So if we can get to that by the end of the year, that would be amazing. But either way, I'm excited to have you guys here. My name's Tricard Tom, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.